There's a memorial tonight for Gabby Petito on Long Island while the search for her fiancé continues in Florida.
Rain and humidity are gone. We'll talk about the beautiful fall weekend ahead.
Roosevelt Island gets its first hotel and cocktail lounge, and New York Live goes inside the swanky new panorama room. This is News 4 Now for September 24th. I'm Adam Cooperstein. It's been 10 days now, and there's still no sign of Brian Laundrie. An all-out manhunt for Gabby Petito's fiancé continues in Florida. Last night, the FBI of Denver issued a warrant for Laundrie's arrest in connection with the unauthorized use of a debit card during a period when Petito was considered missing. Petito and Laundrie were on a cross-country trip when her parents say she stopped communicating with them abruptly, followed by Laundrie returning home to Florida without her. Gabby's body was found at a national park in Wyoming over the weekend, and her death has been ruled a homicide. In Gabby's hometown of Blue Point, Long Island, members of the community are planning a special way to remember the 22-year-old. Teal ribbons now line the Blue Point streets where Gabby grew up. A family friend and head of a nonprofit foundation spearheaded this ribbon effort.
We want people to look at the ribbons and remember Gabby and think of her eyes and how beautiful and vibrant and sparkling she was.
There will also be a Light the Night event tonight. Luminaries will light up the driveways of homes in the community. Organizers are offering the luminaries at the Blue Point Nature Preserve for a $20 donation, which will then be given to the Petito family. New York City teachers and school staff members now have just days to get at least partially vaccinated, or they could lose their jobs. Last night, a judge lifted the temporary restraining order that was blocking the mandate. That means school employees must get at least a first dose of vaccine by Monday. Educators in the city will not have the option to undergo weekly COVID testing instead.
There are schools with between 30 and over 100 people on the non-compliant list right now. Until there is a plan to make sure that schools are safe, we need to reevaluate what we're doing going forward.
Right now, 6,000 United Federation of Teachers Union members are not vaccinated. They say 3,000 of those have applied for exemptions. Now to a terrifying incident at a New Jersey park. A mother had to rescue her toddler son from a manhole. It happened at Kawame Park in Union. The mom told first responders that boy was running ahead of her when he suddenly just disappeared. When she looked down, she found him in the hole 8 feet underground and up to his neck in sewer water. Without waiting for help to arrive, she of course jumped in herself and pulled him back up to solid ground.
It's amazing, more amazing that she was able to get them both out because there's no access ladder or anything out in there. She must have grabbed onto the ledge.
Kawame Park got flooded 3 weeks ago by the remnants of Ida, and we're told the floodwaters apparently dislodged a number of manhole covers in the park. After Thursday's incident, workers were seen covering those holes with barrels and other markers to warn people about the danger. We're told the mom and the child both swallowed some sewer water, but they're going to be okay. Remember this crazy video of an R train hitting a city bike in Queens? Police need your help finding the people who threw the bike into the Steinway Street station. 4 men and 1 woman are believed to be involved. Video shows one of them throwing the bike down the stairs. The video then shows them running from the station after that train hit the bike. Luckily, no one on the train got hurt.
Hey, I'm meteorologist Matt Brickman. Thankfully, we are getting a chance to dry out, not just after yesterday, but what's been a really wet month of September. This is now the 6th wettest September on record in Central Park, and we've got records going back to the mid-1800s. That's about when we had our wettest September, 1882. Nearly 17 inches of rain fell that month. We've got nearly 10 inches of rain so far this month. Of course, quite a bit yesterday and early this morning, but most of that coming with Ida on the 1st and 2nd, when we had a once-in-a-thousand-year type rain event with up to 8 inches of rain falling in just a 6-hour window. We saw 6 to 10 inch totals throughout the tri-state. Things look pretty quiet, though, for the rest of the month, including what looks like an absolutely beautiful weekend with sunshine and highs in the 70s. Enjoy it.
New York City has a lot of cool cocktail bars with views of the city, of course, but New York Live is now going to show us the newest one with a view of Manhattan you can't get anywhere else.
There are some exciting things happening on Roosevelt Island. They just got their first hotel and they just got their first cocktail bar, which just so happens to be located on the roof. We're here today to check it out. It's really cool to come out to Roosevelt Island and be at its first ever hotel. Tell me a little bit about the hotel and how it came about.
Yeah, I think it originally was part of a plan to develop New York City as the center of tech and innovation, kind of the answer to Silicon Valley. Bloomberg was the mayor at the time and put an RFP out to the best universities in the world. Cornell won the bid to do a tech-focused graduate program. Part of that plan was to have the first hotel on Roosevelt Island and create something new for the city.
So this beautiful bar keeps popping up on the gram and all over the press. It's a beautiful design. Tell me about it.
I think that we were really excited about creating a moment, kind of like a lighthouse or a beacon.
We're on the 18th floor. Had you ever been this high up on Roosevelt Island? What about the views?
You know, the views just offer an unprecedented vantage point. We're located in the center of the East River. You see almost every borough. The 59th Street Bridge really presents an incredible backdrop for this whole experience.
I love that you can see sailboats going by, you can see the ferries, which there's a stop here.
There is. There's so many ways to get here, and I think you can't help but to feel the connection to water here in a different way than you do on either the Manhattan side or the Hudson River side.
You definitely feel like you're on an island, which you don't when you're in Manhattan.
And I think we leaned into that with a lot of our offerings. We have a raw bar. We're doing a little bit more crudos, caviar nachos, kind of leaning into that island feel. Whoa. So much flavor.
Mm-hmm. This is amazing. Congratulations on Panorama Room. I can't wait to come back.
Thank you.
Cheers.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and we want to introduce you to a trailblazing storyteller who left a legacy in New York City. Pura Belpre was the first Puerto Rican librarian at the New York Public Library. She put Spanish language books for kids on those library shelves for the very first time. And when she couldn't find any, she wrote them herself. Here's News 4's Gilma Avalos.
Vámonos a San Salvador.
For children growing up bilingual today, like my daughter, there have never been so many opportunities to hear Spanish
Un perrito.
outside of the home.
Say, despierta, bebé.
But long before Dora
Uno, dos, tres.
and Maria, there was Pura.
She was a visionary.
Pura Belpre became the first Puerto Rican librarian at the New York Public Library 100 years ago. But when she looked at the shelves, she didn't see books for children in Spanish, or much less books that reflected their heritage. To change history, sometimes you have to write it yourself, and that's just what she did.
This looks like our family.
Exactly.
She wrote what she knew, folk stories told to her by her own grandmother.
The fact that Pura is describing with detail and care, how would they dress, what did they sing, that's the takeaway, culture.
Her characters jumped off the page and came to life when she made puppets to go along with them.
Those are exact replicas of the puppets.
Her most beloved characters, La Cucarachita Martina and El Ratón Pérez, are etched in the memories of generations of children. Moncho Lopez curated the Puppets of New York exhibition at the Museum of the City of New York.
It really also tells you how she tailored and adapted these characters and adopted these characters that she knew were important in the psyche and the experience of New Yorkers. Rats and cockroaches. And she made them lovely.
Her bilingual story hours using puppets were a game changer. No one had done it before her, and they drew in the whole family.
Belpre didn't only put our culture on the shelf. By inviting families to bilingual story time, the New York Public Library became one of the first public institutions to celebrate a language that was normally only spoken at home.
It's not only a language that you keep behind doors, it's a language that you should be proud of.
The work she started is far from over.
Pura was an institution builder. So it wasn't only about writing, it was about leaving a legacy and opening up a sustainable structured spaces so that our kids could be serviced.
It's a legacy found on every library shelf that makes room for our stories and carried on by the immigrant children who've grown up to proudly share their heritage with a new generation.
Más. Okay.
Gilma Avalos, News 4 New York.
¿Dónde están sus piecitos? Aquí.